Hi, this is Hans from Dakota Angler and Outfitter. Today we're going to tie the deep purple nymph, aka the purple people eater, and other names. I can't think of a good name for this fly other than it's a purple nymph that works really well. We've got a curved scud hook in the vise with a black nickel tungsten bead. We'll start with some 70 denier thread behind the bead and wrap to the back of the hook. We're going to tie in some tail fibers. I'm going to use Coq de Leon. I use a lot of Coq de Leon for tails because it's got a nice speckling, but it's also a very durable tailing material. It doesn't break apart like partridge, but it still has that same speckled look. Next, we're going to tie in a wire rib. I like to use on this fly a red or a hot orange copper wire rib. Tie that along the side of the shank as we go back to the back of the hook. Stop at our tie-in point for the tails. And now the body on this fly is UV purple ice dub. And for certain flies, like nymphs fished in a Baetis hatch, or prior to a Baetis hatch, purple seems to be a really good color. The fish seem to really key in on flies tied with purple in that situation. So we're going to dub a tapered body, starting at the back of the hook and working our way up to the bead. Get your dubbing aligned so that as you wrap forward, you get a body that gets a little fatter as you get towards the bead. Build a little bulk as you go forward on the hook shank. And dub right up to the back of the bead, and any excess dubbing you can take off the thread. Whatever excess you can't get rid of, just wrap that around the hook. If it's a little shaggy, that's just fine. Go ahead and wrap your ribbing material through the body. You're going to get 4 or 5 ribs. Rib right through up to the bead. Tie off. And trim off your excess wire. I use a soft tackle collar on this fly. For most of the flies I'm tying, they're in the size 16 to 20 range, and I use starling. Fold the feather back at the tip, trim off the tip so you have a small triangular tie-in point. Make sure that's secured well. Then I fold the fibers back so that as you wrap the feather, the fibers stay back in a swept soft tackle style. You really only need 1 or 2 turns here. You don't need a heavy collar, just enough to give the fly some legs. Tie it off, fold everything back, secure it with a couple wraps of thread, and then trim off your excess. And we can do a 3-turn whip finish. Give it a little bit of tension after you've done your whip finish just to tighten up everything. Trim off your excess thread, and there you have it. A very effective nymph. Thanks for watching. Check out our other videos and purchase materials at flyfishsd.com.